Well, hello. I thought he'd walk around and see what's going on with the garden right now in the yard. We haven't had a hard freeze yet, so everything is still living. Even I got one cilantro plant that's still alive. There's my cilantro right there. It's a small one, but it did survive. It came up. My mums were still trying to bloom. I wanted to tell you too, if any of you are planning on fixing a spring garden and you need to fix your pots or your totes or big buckets, your 5-gallon buckets, go ahead and fix your soil in them now. Put your compost, your paper, your dirt, whatever you're going to put in there, and they'll be ready to go by spring if you'll fill them up now and just let them set. Set them out so it can rain in them when we do get rain or snow or whatever, and they'll be ready to go when you get ready to plant in the spring. So go ahead and put your compost, your food scraps, your cardboard, paper, dirt, leaves, wood bark, just like I showed you how I built my totes and my raised bed garden. You do the same in your buckets and everything else, and all of your pots will be ready to plant in the spring. I mean, look at this. I've still got little peppers. I mean, I don't know that they're going to last a whole lot longer, but they're still alive now. See, my little pepper, it's still putting out peppers. And stuff in my wishing well is still alive. I need to come out here and harvest this perpetual spinach, though. Get some of the dead leaves off of it and put it in compost. And I had transplanted that flower right there, and I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what that one was, but it was not looking good in the pot that I left it in, that the seeds come up in. So I transplanted it over here. I need to get some water to my pepper plant. That dirt looks kind of dry, but it's probably wet down in the bottom. And look over here. All my moonflowers died back. So I took all the dead stuff out of here and put it in the fire pit and burn it. But look at there. I've got moonflowers coming back up already. Look at that. All around, I've got moonflowers coming back up. Oh, because it's been so warm. My rose bush is still trying to bloom. And look at there. I got peppers still. Moonflower right there. Pepper plant here with the mums. And it's still got a pepper. Look at that. I came out here and picked all the ones that were big enough to pick. But look at that, the mum. Got the burgundy looking mum down in there. Zinnia's still trying to bloom. And this is another mum that it's been blooming. My watermelon back there has give way. I mean, I didn't expect it to live. I'm surprised it lived as long as it did. Isn't that right, little buddy? Huh? I still got pepper plants here. And a few other things. This is a perennial here. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a beautiful plant. And I need to put it in a bigger pot. I need to get out here on a nice day and get some concrete and try to finish this arrangement around the bird bath and put that in a bigger pot so it'll have room to grow. But look at the greens here. I need to harvest those again. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I need to harvest, I think, probably all my greens. But see, the moonflowers are trying to come back up even in the pot. I still got peppers here. One there. And usually by now they're frozen and dead. And I moved 2 or 3 of my biggest aloe vera in the house. But it hasn't gotten cold enough to kill them yet, so I've still got some out here. My hollyhocks are trying to grow again. Look at that. My greens are still looking good. My tomato plant, it's looking kind of straggly, but it's still alive, y'all. Still alive. My rose bushes here are still got pretty green leaves on them. Rose bush there is looking good. My Christmas trees. Still got an okra plant. Look at that piece of okra. Look at that. My Rose of Sharon, it should come back out in the spring when it warms back up for good. My pepper plant, still blooming. It's still going to try to put out peppers. Look at there. There's one right back there. It's a red bell pepper. And my collards, look at that. They're beautiful. Beautiful collards, y'all. Those were the last ones I planted. And look how good they're doing. I put this tube around my banana trees, trying to keep them alive. I don't know if it'll work, but that's what I'm trying anyway. And my purple kale. Pepper plant there. My onions. My walking onions, my Egyptian walking onions. My kale there. I don't see any more peppers on there, but they got blooms. More onions. And that's my holy basil, but it was so late when that came up. I wasn't expecting it to even be alive till now. More onions with my catnip. And there's my other collards that I moved over here. And see, look how much better they're doing over here than they were under the tree. I need to move the other ones over here as well, because they don't get as much sun where they're at. My purple walking kale here. And that tomato plant's still alive. And I got a collard there. That was one of the very last ones I planted right there. My walking stick kale. My chives, onions, more onions, and perpetual spinach. And look at my arugula. You know, I broke everything off of that was living on it. It was just a stalk. And look at it now. I need to harvest more off of it. My radishes. I don't know if I got any radishes in there. I don't see any. I don't know why they don't head up for me here. And that tomato plant still putting out blooms. It's got a few more tomatoes there, too. That's good, y'all. There's a whole clump. And one of them's ripe, so I'm getting it. Look at that. My fur babies. There's Luke, Lucky. And there's little Buddy. And there's another collard. Planted it in its own little bucket. Those Hungarian hot peppers plants are not looking too good. They probably aren't going to survive too much longer. But my kale, look at that, my walking stick kale. I need to break pieces off of this and take it in the house and keep it in the refrigerator, I guess. So I'll make sure I've got some plants for next year. I mean, I started these from seeds. I can always do that. Oh, look at this. There goes my... I think that's a hillbilly tomato. That's the one I've been leaving on the bush as long as I possibly can to give it the best chance of ripening. Because that's a pretty good sized tomato right there. I picked all of them off of this one. Well, I thought I did. I still got a couple of green ones there and one up here. And one down there. A couple of them down there. See, I still got green tomatoes out here. I probably ought to pick them and just fry me up some green tomatoes, even though they're small. Oh, there's a ripe one. Look at that. It's a nice little ripe tomato I'm eating. That's good. I got more over here ripening up too, look. I'm gonna go ahead and pick those two. Take them in the house. There's one there. Some up here, but they're green. But these are starting to ripen, so I'm going to go ahead and pick them. And I got one right here. Another one right there. They're starting to turn. They'll go ahead and finish ripening in the house on the counter. And then they won't freeze. Let's see, I got some here too. And look at the blooms. Still putting out blooms to produce more. There's tomatoes, green tomatoes under here. A couple of them right there. But my clematis has died back for the winter. And look at this. This is putting out more blooms like crazy. It's trying to produce more tomatoes. There's another little one right there. I'm going to step on you, Lucky. He's getting right at my feet. Yeah. Ain't that right, little buddy? He's up on the gas tank, so he don't get stepped on. Yeah, he's on the gas tank, so he don't get stepped on. Look at that. He's a sweetie. Yeah, little buddy's a sweetie. He's a sweetie. Yes, him is. See if I can hold this camera and pet him at the same... Whoop! I can't do that. I got to have this other hand because I got tomatoes in my hand. And I still got this tomato bush alive, and look at this. Green tomatoes. It's resting on the rose bush, and I'm just going to leave it there. There's a big one up in there. See if the okra and stuff will go in my pocket. I might go ahead and pick this one. That's a pretty good sized tomato right there, and I'll fry that up and eat it for dinner. I got a couple more in the house that are about that size or a little bit smaller. But they're big enough I can make a couple of slices out of them and batter them and fry them. And see, these are still putting out blooms. These peppers, these bell peppers, still trying to produce peppers. My kale. And the poor little Brussels sprout, I don't know, I give up on it. If it's nice weather, the bugs eat it up. If it starts growing good, it gets too cold for it. And there's my tree collard. And there's my collards in my buckets back here. I need to put some more compost or something to them. They're not growing very well. Look at that. The whole handful of tomatoes in a clump. Got a couple of them here. Yeah, collards love the sun. There's another tree collard here. It's a pretty good size. Like I said, I need to get some cuttings off of some of them. Keep them in the house through the freezing cold months. So, I'll have some plants for next year. But see, these are still, I mean, they're growing. They're starting to grow pretty good. These here, these collards. But the ones in that raised bed look the best. They've been out in the sun all day. These get shade part of the day. And see my bell pepper plants here? They're still blooming, y'all. They're still trying to produce peppers. Look at that. Little peppers up there. My walking onions, Egyptian walking onions. Tomato there, look at that. I don't remember what name this one is. It's not like this one because look at that. This one's real smooth and that one's got the ripples around it. So it's a different type of tomato. I got tomatoes here. My eggplants are still alive, but they're really not producing eggplant right now. But it'd be nice if all of these would just live and not die back and then start growing in the spring. I'll not have to replant this part of it, would I? I think that's wishful thinking. Look, there's the eggplant they're trying to grow. I think it's going to get too cold on for it to do anything, though. But it's putting out more blooms. But yeah, if you're going to plant in totes or buckets this year, look at that. That is only the second tomato worm I've seen, and he's on a pepper plant. He's on a pepper plant, y'all. We'll see if I can get him off. I'll pull the leaf off, maybe. Yep, there he is. He's hanging on. Put him down there. The camera won't focus if it's moving, so. That's the culprit that eats all my plants up. I would squish him, but I don't want him on my boot, my foot, my shoe. Put him out there in the bushes. I just threw him out there in that big bush. Let him figure out where to go from there. Oh, well, look. It produced one, but the top of it doesn't look good. It's kind of mushy, so I'll leave it. I figured it would be too cold or cool most of the nights for these tomato worms to even still be here. But look, I got tomatoes still. Still got my pepper plants. There's another tomato there. This poor tomato's all hanging down on the ground. It just doubled over and fell over. I can't keep them staked up. They grow too tall. I'm going to have to fix a horizontal trellis for them, I think. And there's another pepper. Those are hot peppers there. Oh, look. Look at that tomato. I hate to pick them if they'll ripen up. I think maybe I got enough in the house to fry some tomatoes. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get that one, because I'll end up forgetting about it. Because there's another one right there. It's a smaller one. But those two are pretty good size. They'd make good fried tomatoes. Fried green tomatoes. Ain't that right, little buddy, huh? And look at my compost bin. You know, it was all the way to the top, and I keep adding and adding and adding, and it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And you know, it dropping like that, it means that nature's doing its thing. It's turning into soil all down there. So that's going to be some great compost to put to my plants come springtime. All of these plants are still alive. My peppers, my tomato plants, my peppers up here. Look at that. This pepper plant's taller than I am. They're still alive in here. They're not putting out the way they did earlier, but they're still producing or trying to. All of those are all bell peppers. Let's check on my hosta. One of them's died back, but the biggest one is still alive. I think it'll probably die back, though, to the root, and then it'll come back up in the spring. I replanted some sweet potatoes here, and I thought I'd just leave them all winter, but they may not do anything because they're dying back. They'll go to compost in there if nothing else. And look at that evergreen bush that I thought was a mandevilla. If my mandevilla would grow like that one, I'd have a pretty flowering plant. My hollyhocks are dying back, but they're still holding on. You know, they'll come back up in the spring. And then my clematis, that'll come back up in the spring. It's still blooming. The lavender one is anyway. And my caladium fell over. It doesn't like cold weather. My mint, peppermint. I got a pepper plant in there. But yeah, in the weeks coming up, I'm sure it's going to get cold enough. It'll probably get below freezing long enough that it'll kill all these plants. But look at the peppers, y'all. It's still producing bell peppers. They're not very big, but they're bell peppers, y'all. And there's some of the hot peppers, the jalapenos. These are hot pepper plants. In here with my perpetual spinach. My rosemary is still alive, but it'll probably die back completely and then it'll come back up in the spring. But you know, I harvested all I could harvest off the top. I didn't want to just completely scalp it. But all these pepper plants and tomatoes they're still hanging on, but I don't hold much for them for too much longer. These are hot peppers. Perpetual spinach there. There's a pepper plant there. It's a pepper plant up there in the trellis. Tomato plant. And another pepper plant here. And look at that. It's got peppers. It's got a little one. And if it doesn't freeze and kill it, it'll get bigger. All of this is still alive. But like I said, in the few weeks coming up, I think it'll get down below freezing enough. Long enough a couple of the nights that these plants are going to die. And there's a pepper. My two basil plants here are still alive. And I see I got a red pepper right here. See if I can reach over here and get it. Well, where was it? There. That's one of those, what is it, habaneros or... And I probably should have left this one on there and it would have turned red, but it's green now. They're both off the same bush. And there's another tomato. Yeah, I have to check these every once in a while because I always miss one. And then I come back through again. And I find a stray tomato. But there's that basil plant. It's not looking too good. But I harvested a bunch of basil off of it and dried it already. And my collards I put down in these cinder blocks are not doing too good because they're not getting enough sun. And these were my Ponderosa pink tomato plant. You know, I harvested several pink tomatoes off of here. First I've ever grown. And the bush looks like it's trying to die back. It don't like the cold weather. But it's still hanging on, part of it. I mean, but like I said, I don't think it'll be around much longer. Because I know one night this week it's supposed to get down to 31. But I haven't seen where it's predicted to get below 31 at all. And if they say we're going to get down to 31, it may only get down to 33 or 32. All my lights are coming on, y'all. It's getting dark on me. It's been not raining today, but rainy like. It misted rain early this morning. Isn't that pretty? And it's not even dark yet. And I put Christmas looking flowers in this little planter. That's all I had. I meant next time I went to dollar store or General Dollar, anywhere, to get a few more, but I haven't gotten them yet. But look at my lights, y'all. They come on for me. They're all on for me. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. The light come on from Santa and Mrs. Claus. And my reindeer up front. And my wreath on the window. Candy cane hasn't come on yet. And I've been meaning to work on that because part of the time it didn't burn, part of the time it did. So I don't know what's going on with it. Let's see if I can work on the controls here a minute. I don't know which one came on. I got one string of lights burning, the other one's not. I don't know which is which. That one's on, I guess. I think the other string is burnt out, or it's not charging. But at least I got one string on there that's working. I gotta repaint my mailbox. I had flowers and stuff painted on it with my number, but they've kind of faded out, so I need to take all that old paint off and repaint it. It'll look better when I do. Look at these two cats following me around. There's little buddy. Lucky's back there. But there's Santa and Mrs. Claus. Get you a close-up look of it. I need to do something with that window that I painted there with the Christmas tree behind the curtains. I probably need to get rid of the curtains or the ones on the side and make it look like the Christmas tree is showing the whole tree, not just part of it. But you can see how the light is changing colors. It goes from red to green to white. I think it's adorable myself. I just wish I could get the lights up here on the... See if I can open this tripod again. Yeah, I'd love to be able to get these lights to burning. I don't know if I turned them off or on. They blinked. think there's something wrong with the switch. The little see if it comes on. It's just got one. Wish it would come on. I can get them just to flicker on and then they go right off. Oh well. I don't know what else to do. And I know it probably got plenty of sun during the day, because that light that's shining on Mrs. Claus and Santa is a solar light right there. So I don't know. But I might can get another string. I've got some more. I think I got one more string of white ones I could put up there and light that up. But it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. And with that, I'm going to wish y'all a good night. You'll see this in the morning when I post it. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Or if you're watching this in the morning, have a blessed day. And I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye now. Look at little... See, he gets water out of the bird baths. Little Buddy does too. That's Lucky up there getting water out of the bird bath. I'm just hoping they don't ever tip it over, because that's a ceramic ceramic wash basin that's in it, and it's antique. It's one that I got after my grandmother and my Aunt Lois died. I found it in the side house. Everybody else had got everything else that was any good, and that was covered up with a bunch of junk. And I was digging down in there, and I found it. And I brought it all the way back to Texas from North Carolina with me. And I bought that stand and turned it into a bird bath. Because the bowl is too heavy to use it for cooking and making biscuits or something. And I don't have room in my kitchen to put something that big anyway. Boy, he's thirsty. Lucky, you were thirsty. I filled their bowl up around on the front porch with water. But they empty it every day. And look at here. Here's little Buddy. Yep, there's little Buddy. He's checking out the camera. You checking out the camera? I was trying to tell the folks bye, but you wanted to come up here and say hello to all the people, huh? Yeah, little Buddy wanted to get up here and say hi to all the people. And Lucky's behind me talking away. I don't know what he's going to do back there. But you going to tell everybody good night or have a blessed day? And we'll see you on the next one. Huh? All right. Tell them bye.